I have been playing Indiana Jones and the Great Circle again, leading up to the launch of the DLC, which is happening in a couple of weeks, The Order of Giants. And I am marveling once again at how damn good this game is. And the fact that Troy Baker needs to win more frickin' awards for his work as a motion capture talent and voice actor. Just actor in general. Like, having just come off of watching him play Higgs in Death Stranding 2 like a couple of weeks ago, and then rolling into this and remembering how good of a job he did, you know, literally donning the persona of Indiana Jones, and getting all of the inflections of Harrison Ford's voice right, but also like the finger wags and the hand motions, like it's so exceptionally well done. Anyway, I've played this game before. I played it when it first came out. I own the Ultimate Edition of this game, which means I pre-ordered whenever it first came up for pre-order years ago, and I have the Order of Giants already ready to go as soon as it launches. And this is one of those games where I knew going into it I was going to enjoy it, mostly because, and I've talked about this elsewhere on my channel, I'm a massive Indiana Jones fan. This franchise is up there with me, like with Star Wars, Star Trek, anything that, Middle Earth, all of those franchises that I love. When I was a kid, I can remember with my brother running around and us just living out our Indiana Jones fantasies, digging in the dirt, and just really being inspired by this character. And then when I went out to travel the world full time, the thing that I wanted to be most when I was a teenager was an archaeologist because of Indiana Jones. And while my life didn't exactly go that route, I did end up going and traveling full time for many years, and I was able to live the life of that traveling explorer through the travel blog and doing that for the decade that I did it. And just going to some really cool places and going on adventures, exploring ruins and castles and scuba diving and visiting museums. And it was definitely, a character that influenced the early part of my life and carried through into my adult life. And there have been some really good Indiana Jones games that have happened along the way. I have very fond memories of Fate of Atlantis as an example, and we played that as a retro game, man, maybe 3 years, 2, 3 years back, which was the first time I had played it since it originally came out in the 90s. But this game, there is something about this that just hits home on a
We should
different
get
level.
going.
Um, so I love the fact that it's first person, right? And the cool way they've done this is they've got the first person POV, but then it goes out into third person when you're doing these action sequences, which creates this
This
sense
way!
of it's a great juxtaposition of the third person POV for those cinematic moments, but then
I
giving you,
think we can see better from up there.
the first person exploration, which I prefer. If you give me the option to do first person versus third person, I'm always going to choose the first person initiative because
I wonder what's over here.
it's more immersive. Gina, you were a little over enthusiastic. I appreciate that you're barking at me to tell me to come this way. Look at that. Giza, Egypt, Africa. Like, the fact that
Wow. What a view.
it
It,
is,
it is something, ain't it?
it's amazing. And then when we go from here, I love the fact that we have so many tools at our disposal, starting with the map. I love the way that they've done the map here
Pyramids.
because
They're even bigger than I
we
imagined.
haven't actually
Not
found a
until you
map
see him
for
up
this.
close.
We haven't actually found a map for this region yet, so all we have is his sketch so far. But once we find the map for the region, the mini map in this game is one of the coolest features of the game in my mind because it's literally you holding up a map just like this as you run around and you see your little POI on it as you explore. But
Let's
the
look at the map.
journal,
Yeah, Ituru to the ancient Egyptians.
I've never seen anything like this.
so we're currently in Giza, which is one of the places we've been able to explore. Um, and I just love the sketchbook. But then going through here and all of the different tabs that we have, um, we have this book tab which shows us all of the volumes of things that we can find to flesh out our character. But then going into the travels, we can see where we've come so far. Starting off in Marshall College, we can choose to revisit that area. Um,
Oh,
and you can
there's the
also go over and
Sphinx.
look at all of the notes that we have for an area. We can go look at the notes we have for the Vatican, um, and all the things that we've done here, exploring. And the way they've done this journal to where it's jam packed with all the notes and
That's
everything else
Henry
that you
VIII.
have.
Correct. Or as we would say, Khufu.
So you can go here and fast travel to another area and go back to the places you've been before if you want to re-explore those. And also there's just things
Can't
like
see the tent.
you can go over
Where is
here
it?
and if like there's a lot of these like secondary things where you're like collecting little objects throughout the areas. You can go back and do those if you don't want to do those for the main quest. You can actually finish the game and then come back and do that later, which is really cool if you just want to focus
You
on
see
having
a
an
blue
adventure
tent.
and then doing the completionist version afterwards. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. Um, let's close this down because she's being obsessing over this blue tent, which is down over there. And this is the other aspect of the game that I think is really cool: is you get this camera, which allows you to. Um,
That's not a good
Can't
angle.
see the tent.
we could
Where
go
is
ahead
it?
and use it as a tool to explore, but it also gives us notes that we can stick in our journal.
That's it. We should hurry.
All right, let's go to the blue tent.
You hurry on down there, Gina. I'm not quite ready to go to the blue tent because this is where I want to say, because now we've gone into the journal again, and we now have this field note or
Come
this
on.
photo
We
that
should
we
get
took.
going.
We also have an airship document. So now we can see that we have different objects. And the more we explore an area, the
Come
more
on. We
objects we
should get
get.
going.
My alarm is going off behind me, so let me go turn that off. Um, so this is a case of a
Come on.
game where
We should get
immersion
going.
is the key. Other than Gina constantly barking at us, that's the one nitpick I will have, is that like with a lot of other games, the NPCs will bark at you when you're not doing something quick enough. That does get annoying
Come on.
if you're just
We
standing
should
in
get
one
going.
place after a little while. But the point I wanted to get at is I think for me, this is probably one of the best adventure games I've played, oh boy, in the last decade. It's up there for me, up there. I mean, because it's not quite in the same vein as say like Red Dead Redemption 2 or Cyberpunk 2077 in the sense that it's an, you know, action adventure game because Indy is not an action hero. Indy is an explorer. And so adventure is the name of the game here. Indy can do action stuff, um, but the way that this game works is the pistol is very, very limited. You really don't want to use it because it brings a lot of enemies down on you. It's mostly about picking up objects in the game world and then using those to, you know, hit guys, sneak attack them, so on and so forth. Brooms and wrenches and things of that nature. And of course, our trusty bullwhip. Because no adventure would be complete without Indiana Jones's whip. But then, like, we only have the one outfit right now, but like as you go through the game, you can get all these different outfits. And then I think it's here in the options. Um, Here it is. Like because of the pre-order, you have different outfits that you could choose to have. I just used the Great Circle default outfit, but you could also have him running around in his travel suit, or you could go with the Temple of Doom outfit. I do like the Great Circle, so this is what he's normally wearing. But then you get the outfits that you find along the way to use to sneak into areas. I don't know. I just feel like this game embodies the essence of Indiana Jones, and I really do think if you haven't played this yet, this will be one of those rare occasions where I will tell someone you should definitely go get this game. Like a lot of times I leave my videos on the note of, oh, if you think that, maybe it's something you might like, but no, I'm telling you to get this game. Like Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is a phenomenal game. How long you play it, it just depends on the playstyle you have and what difficulty you're on. The main storyline is 15 to 25 hours long, depending on difficulty. I got 35 hours out of my first playthrough doing a like semi-completionist version. Um, Now, I didn't go for all the little collectibles and stuff, so I think if you go for every single one of the collectibles, you're looking at close to like a 50-hour gameplay. So on the short end, I would say expect around 20 hours. 20 to 30 would be a pretty good ballpark for your first time through, unless you're just someone who doesn't give a shit about anything and all you do is beeline from main objective to main objective. Then you'll probably be done in 15 hours. But I think the world building is done so well, and there's so much to explore, especially when you get to like Giza and there's all these different tombs. But even when you start off in the Vatican, you can spend 15 hours just in the Vatican going through all the catacombs and stuff. It, uh, I'm telling you guys, it's a great game. Go play it if you haven't already done so. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next stream as we continue to work through our second playthrough ahead of the DLC, which is coming on September 4th, which I'll be live streaming, of course. So every single morning, live on YouTube and Twitch at 4:30 a.m. Central. See you in the next one.